Just real quick, actually, I kind of want to get a little real before I do my actual set, because being academics, past couple of years been a little rough, especially in Glasgow. Glasgow School of Art burned down. It's quite sad, and basically what I want to say is that whether you're doing humanities, arts, social or natural science or engineering, whether it was intentional or not anywhere in the globe, an affront to one of us is an affront to all of us. So I just want to raise a glass in solidarity to Glasgow School of Art. Anybody who wants to take a drink to the Glasgow School of Art, take a drink with me, please. Woo! Cheers. And no, that was not a full dram because I am a baby. Can I put this on your table? Do you mind? Fantastic. Audience participation. Yay! Man, the very first time that I was here in the stand performing was right after the Brexit referendum and just before America elected Agent Orange. And man, it's really weird being back here now. I mean, I'm American and we just had elections last week. Results? Could have been better, but they were pretty optimistic. And it's kind of weird being on stage in Glasgow for the first time with, what's the word? I haven't had it in so long. Hope? But it's great too, because hope is really important for comedy. Because hope is the very first step before you get to shattered hope. And shattered hope is funny because it has shat in it. I'm also being really reflective lately because, well, I'm in the final month of my PhD, which means that I have 4 months to go. And so, I'm writing up my thesis, I'm thinking about everything I've done over the past 3 years, and I have to look forward and backward at the same time. It makes me really reflective, and I start asking myself questions like, why? No, but seriously, why do we get into science or research of any kind? We had the medieval historian here tonight. What drives us to get in here? Because let's be honest, the job market isn't great. Like, I do mathematical ecology. That means I look at ecosystems and I try and describe them with mathematical models. So all of my friends outside of academia, they're telling me, oh, but you could get a job here or there or doing this or doing that. They all require math. I'm like, that's different math. I can only do the one math. One math! And then, how far do you really go in terms of job prospects? I mean, let's think about how many world leaders are, really high up the academic ladder. Okay, so there's Angela Merkel. She was a quantum chemist before she became Chancellor of Germany. And I guess it's also true that David Cameron in the 70s at Oxford participated in research into pig-human hybrids. So there's that. No, I'm not letting that go. I am not letting that go. That motherfucker thinks he can come back and be like, well, I've been gone for 2 years and I wrote a memoir. All is forgiven. No. Every stop of his book tour, I'm gonna be there being like, yo, Dave, I looked through the index of your memoirs. Don't see any pigs. Think you can come back after all you did to Britain? Nah, man, you fucked a pig. But a little more seriously, thinking about what drives us to get into research. In my case, it's a real passion for science. Science is definitely, it's a social construct. It's not just the results. It's how we get there. It's who gets there. And definitely academia is a broken structure, and we have to recognize that. But we're drawn to it because of the beauty of nature and all the things that we can discover about it. And, okay, I'm going to go off on a tangent here, just something that's not related to my research, but it's one of the most beautiful stories in ecology I can think of that illustrates all of this, the hope and the pain. So that wasn't funny. He's in pain. Let's laugh at the man opening up his heart to us. Oh, that's actually my entire career, isn't it? Now, so I deal with marine organisms in the sea, but over on land, there are these creatures called spotted hyenas. They're distantly related to dogs and wolves, but they're fairly different on their own. Never been anywhere close to domesticated, entirely wild their entire lineage. Now, they have a matriarchal society. And for a very, very, very long time, all the zoologists we're looking at them and saying, well, they're a matriarchy, you see, because the females have more testosterone and they beat the males into submission. Even though all of the data contradicted that. They did not have higher testosterone, they did not violently beat up the males into submission. But then there was a liminal moment in the field of zoology that radically changed perspectives. It's sort of a technical transition in the field. I'll break it down like this. They let women in. And women came in and said, you know, this data says the opposite, right? We gotta find out a different reason. And here's what's happening. The males are opting to submit because of the, because of the way they have sex. So the female spotted hyenas have 4-inch long clitorises that actually also, they don't have the vaginal opening normally there, they have it on the end of the clitoris, and it points away from the male during sex. They have to actively choose to let the male mate with them. And here's the thing is, the male has to get into this really unstable, awkward-ass position and be like, oh, no, don't move, don't move, don't move. And if at any moment the female looks at it and is just like, you bore me, and walks away, the male topples right over, and is on his back in a vulnerable position. Brilliant society, I want to go to there, really. But yeah, no, this is so obvious, you just have to watch them do this, and that's the answer. But there were certain biases that were keeping them from really acknowledging that. And yeah, academia has a lot of structures you have to fight against. I've actually borrowed a lot of things from my martial arts time to help me stay sane. My martial arts instructor taught me a lot about mindfulness and centering myself, to try and keep calm, fight stress. But another really important thing is that, one of the things you learn in martial arts, whenever you're breaking a block of wood or something, or any punch that you throw, or any kick that you throw, you're taught, make a yell, go hi-ya, because that gives you an adrenaline boost, that gives you a confidence boost, it makes you follow through with the action. And yeah, let's bring that into academia. Are you scared of sending that email to your supervisor? Hi-ya! Are you worried that the experiment's gonna go wrong? Oh, just go hi-ya! And no, I'm really doing this, and that is why, I'm writing my thesis right now. It's really helped me. I'm sitting in the office like, next page. I have made so much progress. And fun fact, I already know what comes at the very end of my thesis. And it is the end, ? Because science is always progressing. So I said that I do marine science. That's what I'm writing up in my thesis. Specifically what I'm looking at are things called phytoplankton. They're like plants in the ocean in that they take in sunlight and carbon dioxide and they emit oxygen. 80% of the oxygen in the atmosphere comes from the oceans, from phytoplankton. They are essential to the food web because they feed things called zooplankton, which feed fish, which feed even higher things. We eat the fish. Whales eat zooplankton, which eat phytoplankton, and we're friends with whales, so it's very important. And on every possible scale, from minutes to years, from the microscopic to entire oceans, it's important to know how phytoplankton work. I'm overselling it a little bit because in reality, if you see them, they're really like little bits of goop. They are oceanic goop, but they're important goop. And sometimes this goop clumps together and then washes on shore in this big, ugly, decaying mass of ocean gunk. And then somebody comes and scoops it up, shapes it into a roughly humanoid form, sends it to Oxford, and becomes Jeremy Hunt. I bet you thought I was going to go to Boris Johnson with that one, but he's human. We have to own that one. That was on us. But I've been studying this goop for 3 years now, and I'm writing up. I need to be looking to the future. I need to be getting a new job. In academia, after you do your PhD, if you want to stay a researcher, the main option, there are complexities, but the main option is what's called a postdoctoral research associate. And so I've been applying to those kinds of positions, postdoctoral positions. And I'm really, I'm trying to branch out. So the last one I applied for is studying birds. And birds, they're really big bits of goop. But this is a very different kind of goop. And so, I go into this interview and I'm like, okay, I need to sell my skills that I can do this bird research. Bring it on, what are your questions? what scientific research inspires you at the moment? The fuck kind of question is that? Okay, what inspires me? Okay, don't say plankton. You need to sell yourself on things other than plankton. Don't say plankton, don't say plankton. So there are these hyenas with 4-inch clitorises. I'm not getting the job, anyway. Alright. Well, okay, I've walked you a bit through my current existential crisis, and I'm going to leave you tonight with the very final line of my thesis. The end?
Come and try it, as Peter said. Come up, like follow them on Twitter and Facebook and things like that. Come and do it. I'd love to see you do it. Who wants to see Jimmy do it next time? Come on, Jimmy! I think you'd be amazing at it. It'd be awesome.